In life, there are sometimes situations where you just can't help but feel like, I know they're weak. I know I'm better than them. I know they're not as strong as they used to be. But still, you don't take your eyes off them. Because there's something that just makes you feel like, don't underestimate them. Don't. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the team we're talking about today. Hey, everybody, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic, and welcome back. We're continuing our 2026 NFL Draft recap, and we're halfway through the NFC South, and we're going to be marching ourselves down to New Orleans as we talk about the Saints, who I've been saying for the longest time, are the team that we Panthers, Falcons, and Buccaneer fans need to worry about. For two big reasons. One, the NFC South sucks. The NFC South sucks. The NFC South is really bad. And number two, they're the Saints. I don't know how. I don't know way. But the Saints are they're not the Aints. They've been trying to be the Aints, but they don't look like it. Until the Saints have a 3-win season, they won't be the Aints because they're still scary. Let's talk about the Saints draft class. So, going into the Saints offseason, a lot of the big complaints you've been hearing, especially in the Louisiana area, is the Saints have a lot of dead cap, a lot of veterans that are reaching the age that more than likely, thank you for your service, here's a gold watch, goodbye. And the time of this recording, they restructured Alvin Kamara, and Cam Jordan has come back. Now, Davis, their linebacker captain, went back to the Jets. He went back home. Leadership is probably more impactful than his playing, even though he still played at a high level. And there was like a good article or an interview where he talked about the lifestyle change he made to give his career more longevity down the line the older he gets. So it's a good interview. It's a good read. I recommend you guys check it out yourself. And it's actually good not just for athletes, but just good for life. If you want some type of like, oh, okay. But the Saints got their quarterback. We'll see. My biggest thoughts for the same reason I gave the thoughts to the Panthers the year before was they need to address wide receiver. There were some talks offensive tackle, be like, no, they've been trying that dead well. No. They need to give Tyler Shaw. I know I mispronounced his name. Tyler. They gave him a weapon. So that's what they did. And they kind of took the receiver I recommended them to take, not to, because he went to Philadelphia. So, with the 8th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints selected Jordan Tyson, wide receiver, Arizona State. There were really 3 wide receivers that were in the conversation, and I've been saying that Mekhi Lemon is the guy that I really feel like the Saints need to consider. I understand why they went with Jordan. I do. I get it. Jordan has the physicality, 6'1", 200 pounds. I get it. I think Mekhi Lemon is under 6 foot. And maybe they want someone to counter Chris Olave in some regards. My concerns for of Jordan was the thought of his He had an injury history that was a big factor that I was afraid. He tore his ACL, and now it means nothing in today's sports medicine, but still one of the things where it's like, let's just put a mark there about that. I mean, Frank Gore had like multiple torn ligaments in Miami and became one of the better running backs in the NFL and has left his mark in the history books to this day. So, say what you want to say about that. And he's in a more demanding position than a wide receiver. But I felt like the Saints were going to go with Lemon, and Belt the Cough Award winner, but they didn't. They went with a big target wide receiver. Now, this can still be a great. I'm getting Marcus Colston vibes from this acquisition for the Saints. And Tyler will be more than happy to have a big target wide receiver. If you remember, not because you're a Saints fan, but last year, when the Saints, if they would have won, they would have helped Tampa. Maybe there's some reasons. But Tyler was trying to win with wide receivers that, unless you are a Saints fan, you probably know. But the rest of us are like, he just got promoted from the practice squad this week, or he only had 3 catches all year. And Tyler did everything in his power to try to make it work. So it was very obvious, even with Chris Olave having a resurgence halfway through the season when Tyler became officially the starter, that it was really like, we need to give Tyler number 2, or at least another wide receiver. Could Jordan become number 1? Probably. But some local Louisiana reporters and sports will say that Olave is not number 1 receiver money, even though that's probably what he's demanding. So that's a debate for them to deal with. But the big thing for the Saints is they need to give Tyler someone else, just like what Bryce Young did. Basically, every young quarterback, especially one that proven themselves worthy, usually next year they are rewarded by getting a brand new wide receiver or a brand new offensive weapon to help with their future development. Now, Tyler, we all know that he was 25, and now he's going to be 26 this year, going into this season. So we can be a little bit of a, yeah, he's officially 26. We could be dicks. Actually, his birthday is in September, so by the end of September, he will be 27. So we can be a bunch of dicks and say he is literally on borrowed time. Because God forbid a player reaches the age of 30 and, well, they're scrap metal. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe he has 10 more years in his life and we're just all being negative Nancy's. But Tyson going with the Saints is not, to me, is like, duh. What would have been a real big surprise? If somehow Jeremiah Love was still there, that would have been the big surprise, but no. Kenya Sadiq would have been another big surprise, but they addressed the tight end position later. You know, maybe Caleb Downs. If they did not address an offensive weapon like a wide receiver, it probably would have surprised me. But this was a very, like, duh. Then we go to the second round. With the 42nd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints selected Christian Miller, defensive tackle, Georgia. I really was not surprised, but I was like, but I thought they addressed the line with Brian Brees. You know, the Clemson. I thought that was addressed. Okay. I mean, yeah, Devon, who's the starting nose tackle, is 31, so I guess an investment for the future makes sense to address the need. And getting Christian Miller in there, fine. You know, maybe that's what they were looking for as a potential future investment. And remember, all this was happening before the Cam Jordan situation was even remotely acknowledged, so I'm sure people thought that they will go, with the replacement more than an acquisition and an addition to the defense. I thought maybe they'll go with linebacker because of Davis's absence. Now they did get Ellison from the Falcons, I believe. Caden out. And Pete Warner probably gets more playing time. Chase Young has rejuvenated his career effectively. Maybe not the what he was expected as number 2 overall pick in the past, but I can still see Chase Young, be a consistent 10-sack type of player, which the Saints will take very graciously. And Granderson on the opposite side. So I feel like the Saints are good. So yeah, maybe Miller was meant to be as an addition for the future. Probably get rotation times here and there, but they address the defensive side. Not a a complete 180, but according to ESPN.com, defensive tackle was not a need. Edge, receiver, corner, guard, linebacker were the needs. So, was it just too good to pass? Maybe. Then we go to the third round with a 73rd overall pick of the 2026 NFL Draft. The New Orleans Saints selected Oscar Delp, tight end, Georgia. This one pissed me off more than you know. Because I thought Tampa was going to get him. But nope. He went to our rivals. And Oscar is, to me, a thick receiver. He's not a tight end in that, he's over 260 pounds tight end. No. Travis Kelce's a tight end. Rob Gronkowski's a tight end. Oscar Delp. Hell, even Brock Bowers is a tight end. Oscar, he's a wide receiver that just happened to be 20, 30 pounds heavier. He is 6'5", 245. Take 20 pounds away, he's a thick receiver. And that's what's going to scare me. Delp, because young quarterbacks love a good tight end. Take that as you will, and that phrasing. I feel like he'll be more effective than Jordan. Jordan's going to be that, big threat down the field. I get it. But do not be surprised if Oscar has something more than Jordan. Either touchdowns, yards after catch, third down conversions, targets. Do not be surprised if Oscar has something more than Jordan. More touchdowns, more yards, more catches. Something he will have that will be more than Jordan. I believe that wholeheartedly. And I know they have, the Saints have their other wide receiver in Juwan. And they did get Noah Fant. But I'm telling you, Kellen Moore, if he is the offensive-minded guy that he is, he will find a way. He'll put Oscar in the slot. I am telling you, Oscar is a steal, especially if Kellen Moore utilizes him right, which I believe he will. He is too valuable to be just an extra tight end. This guy has hands, and he's big. Utilize him in the slot. Put him against a linebacker. Put him against a safety. He will beat them. And I feel like that's what makes him more dangerous than anything else the Saints have, including Olave and Jordan. Well, that doesn't come to Tampa. Then we go to the fourth round. With the 132nd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints selected Jeremiah Wright, offensive guard, Auburn. The Saints have had a... how do I say this politely? Inconsistencies when it comes to the offensive line. Either they draft a player and doesn't develop to their liking. They draft a player, he gets hurt. They try to invest in a potential future. It doesn't work. Some develop, but it still becomes more question marks. And then when it comes to contract, it comes to, is he worth the price? So for the Saints, I think probably one of their weakest is probably their offensive line. Probably one of their weakest evaluations. Not because they suck at it, because they try. They try and they're underdeveloped. They try, they get hurt. And sometimes more consistent than the other. So for me, for the Saints, that's probably one thing where it's like, man, it's just the luck of the draw for you. But then getting Wright from Auburn, 6'5", 332, that's a big man. That's a big man interior offensive line. And with acquisition of Travis from Jacksonville come and join them, I can't help feeling maybe they're trying to solidify the offensive lineman. Even though I look at Travis as more of a receiving back, similar to more Alvin Kamara. And with Alvin Kamara getting his contract restructured, and I feel like Devin Neal is more of their in between the tackle running back, according to them. I feel like the Saints have more of a versatility, a versatile backfield of running backs. And they currently have Wright as the right guard behind Cesar Ruiz, who the Saints drafted in 2020. Saints fans, how you feeling about this? You know, is this another case of, I mean, he's 27 years old. You guys feel like this is an insurance? Do you feel like, I mean, Eric McCoy, the center, when he gets hurt, it feels like the whole offensive lineman like destabilizes. Chemistry, whatever. It just feels like, well, there goes our anchor. So we'll see. I mean, I thought Calvin Banks did pretty good. Your guys' offensive tackle, I think he's pretty good. And Funga, I think the whole offensive line is almost rebuilt completely. And now it's just insurance for the aging ones, the ones that are reaching late 20s. So we'll see how well it goes, but I feel like the Saints are still addressing the offensive linemen. As long as it stays together, they'll be good. Which scares us all in the South. Then we go 4 picks in the 4th round still, with the 136th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. The New Orleans Saints selected Bryce Lance, wide receiver, North Dakota State. You got Jordan, you got Olave, and now you got Dope. Juan, Kamara, Etienne. The wide receiver acquisition, Saints. Explain to me. I thought the wide receiver pool was solid. I thought we were good. I thought we had plenty of talent. I just North Dakota State's a great school. It's a great school when it comes to athletes. They have proven to have very talented players, and we just hope that they match to the NFL level. Is it because he ran a 4.34? Is it because that he's 6'3", 200 pounds, and ran a 4.34? Did Kellen Moore just looked at him and was like, I have to have him. We must recruit him. We must join our ranks. Is that because? It's because that his physical intangibles probably dictate high potential that you're thinking, he doesn't have to start now, but it'll be kind of cool to have him. A nice change of pace, since it'll definitely be Chris Olave and Jordan taking most of the attention of the number 1, 2 wide receiver. And number 3 is, well, kind of open. I mean, if you look at the wide receiver pool, right now they have Devon Bell, who was a 7th round pick out of Denver in 2014. I mean, he's 6'5", 210, big target receiver. Had 25 catches, 300 yards. No, I mean, I feel like the 3rd spot's kind of wide open. Could Bryce take it? Possibly. We'll see. But sure, yeah. Don't hate the pick. The intangibles are enticing. Fast, big, tall, all the good stuff. Why not? And North Dakota State is a proven commodity of talent, at least in college. Then we go to the 5th round with the 172nd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. The New Orleans Saints selected Lorenzo Styles Jr. That's a name. Safety, Oklahoma State. I mean, Ohio State. Pardon me. Ohio State. Ooh. OSU. How dare I refer to the Oklahoma State Cowboys when it's actually the Buckeyes. So, you addressed the safety. Not really one of the highest demands you needed, but you addressed the safeties. Where do you have what about him screams? Is it because he runs a 4.2? Because he ran a 4.2 740? Are we just getting athletes and hoping they will learn, but they'll probably make their mark on special teams? At least our gunners will be one of the fastest in the league. Maybe, is that what we're doing? Sounds like why we're doing that. We're doing that, right? Is that what we're doing? Sounds like we're doing it. Where do you currently have Lorenzo? They currently have Lorenzo. Here we go. They have him as the backup to the nickel behind Jordan Howden. Okay. Okay, so you have a future potential for him. But I can't help but feel like the intangible of a pure speed, something that you really can't coach, is so enticing. You're thinking, I don't know where we're going to put him on defense, but we can definitely put him on special teams. And then we will develop him. We will mold him into a good defensive back in the NFL for us, the Saints. But for right now, let's use his physical intangibles and use that as a leverage point. So I'm gonna go on that one. He is too fast for his own good, and the Saints couldn't say no. Then we go to the 6th round with the 190th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. The New Orleans Saints selected Bernard Baron Brown, wide receiver, LSU. Another wide receiver. It's not like you guys were in desperate need of wide receiver. Tyler did a lot of making lemonade with very poor lemons. I mean, the Bryce made sense, his speed and size. Okay. Brown is 5'11", 177. You know, thin and small. Yeah. It's because they're from Louisiana. Is that a case? Is that a case we're seeing for him? Let's take a look. Where do you currently have him? Wow, that makes sense. Now, okay. Now this will make sense. You currently have him projected to be your starting returner, punt and kickoff, and that's probably why you picked him up. Yep. Yep. Average speed, not impressive size. Yep. Yeah. But here's the last line of his evaluation. Brown is also a dynamic return man, taking 6 kicks back for touchdowns over his collegiate career. Makes you remember the days of a Holiday was on here when you with you guys and how dangerous he was. And then, and then another one. Wow, forgot his name. Another very small guy with great speed too. It wasn't a Holiday, it was someone else. But he was a awesome returner. So I see you going back to the old ways of the Saints. Good returner, regardless of size. Cool. As a Buccaneer fan, I am petrified. And now we conclude this nightmare with in the 7th round with a 219th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. The New Orleans Saints selected T.J. Hall, corner, Iowa. Saints fans, how do you guys feel about Kool-Aid? How do you guys feel about Kool-Aid? Some of the Louisiana sports reporters are not too thrilled on the young man. And I thought he was a steal when you guys got him in the 2nd round. Because I say that because they currently have T.J. Hall as the backup to him. Is Kool-Aid not the man? Oh, yeah. Just saying. But we currently have TJ, 6'1", 189, play 11 games. Started 11 games for Iowa. 4.5 speed. Almost a 4.6 speed. Not that great. However, he makes up for his scrappy mentality, corner and nickel. There's a lot of inconsistencies on the evaluation, so I'm going to say that he is meant for development. He's meant for potential, and we'll see what he does. But they already have him, a 7th round pick corner, already projected to be the backup to a guy you got in the 2nd round who we all thought was a steal. Trouble in paradise? Maybe. And that is the New Orleans Saints. The player I'm most excited about Oscar Delp, tight end. I'm telling you. He's gonna blossom. He's gonna blossom. I mean, I'm not gonna say he'd be like the days of Jimmy Graham, but I would not be surprised if he becomes that valuable to the offense in the middle. Against the safety of the linebacker. Do not be surprised if he blows up. I'm telling you, he's the threat. I know Juwan Johnson had success here and there, but I'm telling you, do not be surprised if Delp blows up. Grade I give the Saints. I can't give them contenders, but I'll give them better, and I even do one better of better. If this team somehow wins the division, I will not be surprised. I'm telling you, this is the team that scares me. I know the record last year says nothing, and we're hoping that the sophomore slump does not come, and we're hoping that we're hoping there's a lot of variables here and there. But I am telling you that the Saints, at least on paper anyway, they seem like the for when we come, the Saints are coming back. And then, Carolina and Tampa will be pointless to worry about. What about Atlanta? So, they're better. And they win the division because the NFC South sucks. Don't be surprised. I just don't see them going to the conference championship. That's why. And now we will conclude the NFC South by talking to the funniest team in the division, the Atlanta Falcons. Because they have a lot of garbage. And, well, I think we all can say that they are a mess in more ways than one. But that's for next time. But until then, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic. Thank you so very much for watching.